In this video, I'm going to talk about the session takeaways assignment. It's a little bit confusing to people. I know that it's sort of comforting to students to have the rhythm of you do an assignment, you turn it in somewhere, where it then gets graded immediately. But the takeaways, I think, are rather than me grading them every 2 weeks for all 70 of you, I've made the decision that you turn them in one time, but you can maintain them along the way during the semester. Why don't we look at the course plan for big picture view of takeaways? How does this work? In session one, it's a 2 week session. At the end of it, I wanted you to jot down two or three, I think it was 2 or 3 takeaways on your wiki that you set up. Okay, a takeaway is just something memorable that you don't want to forget, or maybe a comment about something you learned. Maybe you want to follow somebody on Twitter that you came across during that session. There's some concept you can use in your future work. There's something you can use in your personal life. Just whatever you want to remember, because there's a lot of stuff you go through in this session, and by the end of the semester with this class competing with all the other classes you took, and you're saying, you know, it was a good class, maybe it was kind of okay, it was kind of a rush, but I really don't know what I learned from it. I want you guys to have a collection at the end of each session. I want you to create a small collection of 2 to 3, I think it's 2 to 3, whatever the instructions say. Let's go double check. Let's see. 3 takeaways. Three takeaways that you thought of during the semester, throughout the semester, and you thought, okay, from this module, what were some notable things? Whether they were things you agreed with, maybe they're things you disagreed with, maybe they're things you want to follow up on, they're things you want to use, the people you want to follow, just big ideas. That's the takeaway. You're going to jot down 3 of them. You're going to put them on the wiki that you set up during the wiki creation and setup assignment. So at the end of session 1, you jot down 3 takeaways on your takeaways wiki page. End of session 2, a 2-week session, you jot down 3 takeaways. End of session 3, you jot down 3 takeaways. End of session 4, you jot down 3 takeaways. End of session 5, same thing, 3 takeaways. And end of session 6, you jot down 3. Okay? You don't wait till session 6 to jot down takeaways for the entire semester. You do that in an ongoing fashion. I'm not here to specifically check every single date. If you were to jot down your session 3 takeaways a day after that module ends, that's fine with me. I'm not worried about that. But in looking at the history, I want to see that you have been doing it in regular intervals along with each session. I want to see posts from January, February, March through April. Now, how does that work? Well, you're doing it on your wiki page, so let's go look at this example. I'm on the sample wiki. Here's the takeaways page. It's just blank. But if you wanted to look at an example, I've created an example of takeaways to show you. For one thing, I want you to set them up by session. One simple way to do it would be to say session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4, session 5, and session 6. And then you notice I have 3 bullet points. And I came and pulled these out of my, extensive collection of things that I've taken away from a variety of places in my life. So a lot of these might not make sense to you because they don't directly relate to this class, because I did not want to give you examples of takeaways to take from this class. I want you to figure out what your takeaways are. So I just gave you examples of takeaways for things that I've either done in previous classes. Some of them are completely made up. Some of them actually, like this thing right here, is a true one from this week, applying to a project I'm working on in another area of my life. So a lot of them, they're just a bunch of hooey, but they're just an example of a way you could write a takeaway. You can put links into things. You can put links to posts that stimulated you, links to articles, books, things like that you want to remember. So this is an example of what your final takeaway page can look like. Now, how do I know if you have been posting them in an ongoing fashion versus you did them all on the Sunday night of session 6, the last Sunday night of session 6? Here's how I know that. See this thing right here with the little time clock? That tells me that this person who made this page has edited it 4 times, and then I can click on this link. I can view those 4 revisions, and because I set this up quickly today, they all happen on February 4th. But I can go look and see what work was done on February 4th at 9:20 a.m. These green things were inserted, these red things were deleted, there were no deletions. I can go to the next step, check it out. Okay, on that time date, this person added those green things. On this next date, added added these things. So that's how it works. That's how I can quickly see, did you do it all in one fell swoop, or did you make your edits across the semester? And I'm just going to really eyeball it quickly and know what the situation is. And again, like I told you earlier, I'm not going to go check, I'm not going to have the course plan out and super closely check your takeaways list, but I do want to see that you came in 6 times throughout the semester in separate spaces of time. You didn't just do it all, like do sessions 1 through 3 one day in March and then do sessions 4 through 6 on some day in April. You know, don't do it that way. Do it regularly. You're adults and you can do that. And you do have some wiggle room, like I've said, but do go in there regularly and post that. All right, so let me check the question that was asked and make sure I've addressed everything full. I'll bring us back to the course plan just to be clear. Here in session 6, you will jot down the session 6 takeaways, then you're done. You've jotted them on your wiki, and then from there you actually go to the CoursedIn Dropbox where you will take the link to your takeaways page. So let's pretend this is the takeaways page. You grab this link up here, you copy it, you throw it into a Word document, you save that Word document, then you upload it to the Dropbox. I'm trying to make mine look a little more, yours probably looks a little more like this. So I'm in Dropbox, I'm in Session Takeaways. Again, I'm in Faculty View, so my view of CoursedIn looks a tiny bit different from yours. Don't fixate on that. But basically, you go to Dropbox, you find the Takeaways Dropbox, Session Takeaways, Session 1 through 6. You can read the instructions if you want, but basically you do what I just said. You copy the link of the Takeaways wiki page into a Word document, and you upload it into the Dropbox. Then you submit the Dropbox. So that's what you do. That's how you wrap it up. So it's a pretty simple thing, but let me know if you guys continue to have any questions about it. Thanks.